This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is November the 19th of 2024. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One day closer to an all-time high. Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. Yeah, Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. I'm offended by selling. Hello, my elite friends. Oh, we are in a new golden age, and I am going to talk about it. If you got questions, I got answers. Type in the super chat. Just do Bitcoin Meister. Get my attention somehow. Make it colorful in the chat. I am just doing this as fast as I can. It was really cold this morning, and I delayed my run, so I'm going to go running right after this. I am pumped. I had a good sleep last night. I'm on fire, so I'm just reading off. I've got, topics on here. Oh, my God. I am all over the place. And I think somebody else is going to edit this video for me, put it somewhere else. Someone's in motion. Is it CoinBeast? Pound that like button for CoinBeast. If they do what we agreed upon, it's going to be awesome. Hopefully, you guys do it, and it spreads the word. Everybody retweet this. I'm a tech vault. Thanks for everybody out there. We only need $80 for the next show. Dennis, Isabella, all you guys. I haven't had time to put in all the stuff below yet, so I'll do that later. Again, I'm in a rush here trying to get this done. And yeah, if you have like 24 Bitcoin now, that's like worth $2 million or something. Oh, I told you so. We're coming up on the 11th-year anniversary of me buying my first 2 Bitcoin also. That was on, I think it was on November the 22nd of 2013. Yeah, I still have those 2 Bitcoin too. All right, pound that like button. All right, now, of course. Now let's just jump into these topics here. Saylor. I linked to an awesome Michael Saylor video below. He's speaking to some big finance company. Which one? I forgot now. Doesn't matter. I don't usually watch his stuff because he's so pro Bitcoin. I'm so bro. I mean, there's not much I can really learn from him at this point. But and I don't need the inspiration. He inspires a lot of people. The minute I heard about this dude and MicroStrategy in the summer of 2020, I knew Bitcoin had attained a whole new level. A giant corporation using it as a reserve asset. I knew that was huge, and it was not super duper early anymore. I've said this many times. But something that he said in this video, and I'm going to get to the good and the bad of this because a lot of people worship this dude, and I don't think he wants to be worshipped. And by putting him on this pedestal, you're making mistakes that he's not making, actually. So, as I say, buy the underlying asset, like he does. He buys the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin. But he's talking about how people say Bitcoin's just a fad. It's going to go away, and he kind of compared it to was nuclear power just a fad? Are we all going back to water power now? And there are some Luddites that want to do that, but once nuclear power was out of the bag, that's it. We're not going back. It's out there. It's not going away. It's there. So, and another point is that the people who are used to the old ways, they die off. The kids today are digital. I mean, how many times do I have to say this? He puts it in better terms than I do. Very smooth. But I do. I mean, are we going back to gold? Just are we going back to letting the stream power my house? I mean, no, we're not going. No, we're not. Some people you could still have. Hey, there's still water, still powers some things, or lighting a fire outside still keeps people warm. But it's not like what we've got electricity and other things and modern amenities. So Bitcoin is a nice new modern amenity. It's not a fad, not going back. Now, so how long will it last? That's just a silly question. Okay. So a lot of people out there, Dennis sent me some tweets of these people just bragging about how they're going to buy MicroStrategy stock, how it's better than Bitcoin. And if you listen to the entire Saylor speech, he gives great arguments for Bitcoin. And then he starts giving arguments for, he explain what his company does. Now, I had no idea. I don't care what his company does or what it used to do. Okay. I don't know what MicroStrategy originally intended on doing. It's been around for quite some time. Had nothing to do with Bitcoin. Obviously, at the beginning, there was no Bitcoin in the old days. So 2001, whenever it was that he started, he might have started before then. I don't even know. But people just buy MicroStrategy without even knowing what it does. That due diligence is just embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But I mean, most people are gamblers today and they buy stocks. They have no idea what the companies do. So that's like, but like some of these Bitcoiners who are buying MicroStrategy, they don't know what they know what Bitcoin does. So why not buy the underlying? So, I mean, he kind of explained it like he's a Bitcoin holding company now. I mean, this is all they do now? I don't know. He explained the Bitcoin aspect of it. And he made it seem like it was, impossible to fail, that he's got this system where it'll just keep going up and up, his stock or the company, and that all companies should do it because it's free. All right, I'm not running a company. Okay, I'm protecting Adam Meister's wealth. Now, and he's protecting his company's wealth and his own wealth. He says it over and over again. The use case is to protect your wealth. That, if you just keep it in other things, how fast are you losing it? How fast are you losing it in real estate? And also that, this in the digital world, you don't need insurance. People, I've said this many, people aren't going to sue you. There's no renters involved. He compares it to other asset classes. But he's buying Bitcoin. And he implies that, it's that some people are just, I guess, too stupid to buy Bitcoin. So just buy his thing, that there's always going to be demand to buy the holding company of Bitcoin, that he's the holding company of Bitcoin. I mean, okay, wow. I mean, and he's convinced a lot of people that's like a thing to do. I mean, people are into it. And just, he's only buying the underlying asset. He's only buying Bitcoin. He's not buying MicroStrategy stock. You guys are. So the video is a good one. I don't know if he's speaking so great about Bitcoin and it's so inspirational. And then the second part is about MicroStrategy. And I think some people's brains just can't separate the two. Bitcoin is awesome. That doesn't mean your MicroStrategy stock is going to be awesome forever. It is centralized. It's everything that Bitcoin isn't. It is centralized. The government could confiscate that. If you own MicroStrategy stock, they can come and get it. They could turn you off. They could say, hey, Michael, or there's some, we suspect these people of colluding with Iranians, take away their stock, and he'll have to do it. If you actually own Bitcoin, and you control your own private key, no one can take it away from you. He knows that. He says it like a billion times. Yet you people worship the man and worship the company, think it's, and these tweets that are out there by young people bragging, they spend $30,000 on MicroStrategy stock. What are you doing? Just buy the Bitcoin. You know how to spend $30,000, whatever it may be. Spend it on Bitcoin. It's pretty easy to buy Bitcoin these days. There's no excuse. It's not a difficult thing to do anymore. So some old people still feel intimidated, and I guess right now there's some roadblocks in the way of some financial organizations buying Bitcoin. That'll be gone soon too. So yeah, those are my thoughts on him. He's not trying to harm Bitcoin, but he again, in the down market of 2026, I wouldn't be shocked if there was some disaster at his company. I mean, who's holding the Bitcoin at his company? If it got stolen, it would be horrible for his company. But again, it would be bad for Bitcoin too, because the two are getting very intertwined, too much, to the point where during a down market, like in 2026, if MicroStrategy has a disaster, the price of Bitcoin will crash, just like it did with Sam Bankman-Fried and all these other things that really, they weren't Bitcoin, but yeah, people are weak-handed, especially during off years, and it's just, it multiplies during off years. So don't even get mixed up in this kind of thing. You can admire the man. I think he's great. I think he's smart. He really explains Bitcoin well, but you don't have to buy the stock that he's not buying. He's just selling it to you, and he's buying Bitcoin with the money you give him. All right, that's a pretty cool thing. I mean, he thinks that can last forever. He gives some reasons. I mean, it would be awesome if you all guys bought like Adam Meister NFTs or whatever, and I then used all your money to buy Bitcoin, and you'd have these weird things that are silly. But I'm not selling Adam Meister NFTs, but you get the point. All right, so oh yeah, I should link to I'll link to this kid. Oh no, here's someone who sold his Bitcoin. Yeah. There are people that sold their Bitcoin to buy MicroStrategy. I don't know. And yeah. All right, real quick. Let's move on to what is the next subject matter I have listed here. I'm trying to follow my order. Okay, Bitcoin strategic reserve. I have said that's, I'd rather the Trump administration focus on just getting rid of taxes on Bitcoin and capital gains taxes. That'll save many of us like 20%. And if you're like have millions of dollars of Bitcoin, that kind of makes a big difference. And but the other thing about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, that if the United States really does this, just doesn't it. First of all, it should keep all the Bitcoin. They don't have to call it Bitcoin strategic reserve, but all the Bitcoin they have from these drug dealers or whatever, they've gotten them to give their Bitcoin back to the United States or whatever. They should keep that. But if we make it official, Bitcoin strategic reserve, we're buying more. The United States is buying more. Well, if they have to buy more, that's a positive on the price. But also every other country on earth at that point, since the United States is the most powerful. I know there's so many America haters out there. They're like the BRICS are going to take over. I say this every time, but you guys are losers. You hate America. It's the best. It has the smartest people. It has the most powerful companies. It is just everything. Everyone wants to come here. Our dollar is the best. There's just so many negative people out there that just I mean, it's good for clicks. If there's a whole doom industry out there, hate America. Glenn Greenwald, he's part of it, and all sorts are part of it. It's just you can get all sorts of losers. So, but here in the winner's world, in the real world, what will happen? All the other countries will copy the United States. They will do it too, and Bitcoin, the price will explode, and that will be great. That will be a great thing, and so it would be great if it happens. But I also want to say something else. This is very interesting. What's left after that? What's Ethereum and Solana going to do? They in terms of Bitcoin, their price will go down. They're not going to be getting Ethereum reserves or Solana reserves immediately. What could happen is that cryptocurrencies like that have foundations, they will have to, and this very well could happen, they will have to go to countries and say, hey, buy ours. Use ours as a strategic reserve too. And it might work for all we know. But initially, it's going to separate Bitcoin further from the altcoins at first. The other ones will have to use their centralization that some of them deny having to lobby governments to like, hey, don't forget about us. Buy us too. We're good too. We do more than Bitcoin, but whatever they do. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with Guatemala or South Africa or whoever buying Ethereum or Solana. I do what they're doing. Japan, I don't care what they do. And frankly, I don't care if the United States diversifies either into the other ones too. Because, again, it's not, I value my wealth in Bitcoin. Let them do what they're going to do. Hey, and yeah, it's better than having Ethereum. The United States, I would love if they liquidated all their gold for Ethereum and Solana. I think that would be better. Again, it's a digital world. We don't live in the Stone Age anymore. There, I said it. All right, so I've said it a million times. Let me see if there are any questions here from my lovely audience. Oh, Isabella. I said her name wrong before too, probably. I always say her name wrong. She's here in the house. It's so good to see you on a live show, baby. Woo! Pound that like button. Johnny Midas is in the house. Oh, all sorts of people are here. Are people asking questions? Yeah, please. Yeah, Rose Adams. I love your last name. Please just get rid of capital gains tax on Bitcoin. Yes, please. Please just do that. The strategic Bitcoin reserve is great too, but yeah. And 1, 2, 3, those scopes have pounded. $6.15 for Cold Fusion Still Moon. The world is good and getting better now. New golden age. Oh, dude, you read my mind because we're going to talk about that exact term, even though I did mention it before, but you still read my mind. No doom and gloom. No. Oh, UK Bitcoin Masters in the house. He just pounded. Oh, my God, this show is taking longer than I initially planned, and I still want to go running. All right. And you can get this shirt at FOMO21. All righty. Let's quickly move on. How fast can I talk? All right. All right. So sold for, okay. We talked about MicroStrategy. Oh, Tenhekin. Real quick. Wasn't supposed to be this high on the mayor of Sioux Falls, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I met him back in 2022 when I was emceeing the Bitcoin Day event in Sioux Falls. I love Sioux Falls. I love my South Dakota people. They know who they are. Beautiful couple. They're about to have their second kid. They're awesome people. And yeah, if you go to Sioux Falls, you can see all the people from Minnesota who wisely moved, who got out of, well, why would you want to leave Minneapolis and move to Sioux Falls? Go to both cities. You'll see why. And all these people try to say that South Dakota is backwards, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay, yeah. They're voting with their feet, okay? So I love Sioux Falls. The mayor, this was during a down market. He's talking Bitcoin with me. I had to introduce him at the spur of the moment. This is a real man. None of this fake stuff. He's a big dude, strong man, done real manly things, knew about Bitcoin, wasn't scared to talk about Bitcoin during the down market. Now, why am I bringing up the mayor of Sioux Falls? Okay, the governor of South Dakota is joining the Trump administration. So the lieutenant governor of South Dakota will become the governor of South Dakota. There's going to be, in 2026, there's going to be an election in South Dakota. So the lieutenant governor will be the incumbent. There's probably the congressman. There's only one congressperson from South Dakota. I don't know much about him. I don't know what he knows about Bitcoin or whatever, but he'll probably run for governor. But he might run for senator. The senator might switch. There's all this stuff that might be shifting in South Dakota here. This Mayor Tenhekin, I put it out there right now. I didn't get much traction on Twitter, but follow me. You'll see it. Scroll down. He should run for governor of South Dakota. There is no Bitcoin governor in the United States right now. This man could become legitimately the first Bitcoin. Now, everyone's like, we got a Bitcoin president right now. Yeah, we sort of do. I mean, he's doing this because of, well, it is the right thing to do, but certain people got to him, and one of them is Brian Armstrong, who's meeting with him today. Oh my, isn't that awesome? I know some of you hate Brian Armstrong because you're jealous and envious and foolish and silly. This man spent so much of his money to get people like Trump in it. Hopefully he'll pay for Tenhekin to become the governor of South Dakota. There is no Bitcoin governor right now that I know about. There's none. This guy would be so pro-Bitcoin. Now, he did not reply to me or anything. I don't think he wants to be presumptuous or anything. He doesn't want to give away anything because he might run for Congress. I think he should run for governor. So I think all of us, we could start on this dude early. Tenhekin is his last name. Tenhaken. I'll have to link to this below. He's the mayor of Sioux Falls. He's a good guy, and he does know Bitcoin. And he wasn't down with Bitcoin because it was trendy, but I met the man face to face in 2022. Okay, during the down market. All right, so good for him. I hope he becomes governor. He hasn't said anything about running for governor. Only I am saying that. But it would be great if Bitcoin had. Because on a state level, you can do even more for Bitcoin. You could do it would be awesome. Much more so than at the federal level. It would become the most Bitcoin friendly state. And how coincidental, some of the most Bitcoin friendly states are out in this. That's not really the Mountain West. Although by the time you get to Mount Rushmore, that's the Mountain West. But let's say the plains, the 6 states that Adam Meister always freaking talks about, that if things got horrible, you'd have to move to. I moved to one of them already. Utah, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, South Dakota, and North Dakota. and there really should be a seventh, Alaska, but they're insane, some of the things they do up there. I hope they really get their Republican congressman back. That's a good first step. But okay, we're not going to talk about Alaska politics or South Dakota anymore. But the South Dakota thing could be very interesting. I see things in advance sometimes. You never know. And speaking about seeing things in advance, this is a good thing. I hadn't thought about this for some time. Back in the days that Jack Dorsey owned Twitter, and Roger Ver was more well known and was going out of his way to just tell specific important people, or he was good at marketing. Roger, he was really marketing Bcash, really. And I said it would not shock me if one day, Roger Ver, someone like Roger Ver had a lot of money, would go to a company like Twitter and Jack Dorsey and convince them and say, this is going to be your currency on here. And I can give you some of my Bcash, just bribe the person. And this was before Jack Dorsey even got full into Bitcoin, because Jack Dorsey eventually became like a Bitcoin maximalist or something like that. Jack Dorsey, far from perfect individual. But what ended up happening was that it's just like a combination of, I could not have predicted this. Elon Musk bought Twitter. Elon Musk could now possibly influence himself to make his personal coin, Dogecoin, the coin of Twitter. So it's like a hybrid of my idea. It much more easily implemented. Gets rid of it's not two big guys interacting with each other. It's just one guy in his head saying, I'm going to use this that I love, that I've pumped up. As all of you notice, this Doge thing isn't even an official government organization, Department of Government Efficiency, but just that it's named Doge pumps up Doge. And good for Doge. It just shows you the power of marketing, and that centralization can help certain coins. When you have a leader, it can help. But dude, it really helps that there is no leader of Bitcoin, because it was on the other side of the spectrum. All the leaders of these specific coins can be, captured by governments, and obviously the leader of Bitcoin, there is none. He's dead, and that's it. They can't capture him. They can't do anything. So yeah, I like the Doges more than Ripple now. Also, Michael Saylor in his talk, he explains so smoothly what should be I don't believe anything should be a security. What should be a security and what shouldn't. If there's a blockchain, if there's a real blockchain, you just can't print it up all of a sudden out of the blue. You can't just print it up out of thin air like Ripple. He says that shouldn't be a security. If you could just print it out of thin air, it should be a security. So he's basically saying Ripple should be a security. I don't know why anyone still buys Ripple. It's unit bias because they see it's so cheap. It did. I think it overtook Dogecoin again in market cap, but whatever. And we'll see what this. I would just. By the way, and I've said this before, if Dogecoin did become the official cryptocurrency of Twitter, and he somehow incorporated it where people had to use it often, it would be good for Bitcoin too. Because all of a sudden people would have so many people, all the Twitter users on Earth would have cryptocurrency wallets. That's a big step. That's a big step. And I'm actually going to talk about cryptocurrency wallets right now. Rick, again, Rick Jackson, okay. Follow him on Twitter, Rick Jackson, okay. He was on my show before. He's part of the Oklahoma City crew, which is a very good big city to live in if you're not going to live in Salt Lake City. But it's a major league city because they have a basketball team. And now Salt Lake City has a hockey and a basketball team. Yeah. Go Utah Hockey Club. I like them. I do follow it every night. Every time they play, I check the score. I learn the players. I'm trying to learn it. I didn't know, I grew up in Baltimore. I don't know much about hockey, but Rick Jackson, okay. Rick Jackson, okay, on Twitter. He got this $88,000 thing right. I think his, we've had three hikes 3 rate hikes, and he basically, we should expect 125,000. I don't want to put exact words. I said this on the last show. So I also think when Bitcoin gets to 100,000, God willing, soon, that there are going to be all these weak hands that just panic sell. Then they're like, "That's it, I'm out. That was my goal." And it is going to be such. They're going to be disappointed because this isn't the Fed rate cuts haven't been fully experienced yet when it gets to 100,000. I can understand maybe you sell it at 125,000. If we don't have any more Fed rate cuts and you sell it at 125,000, I guess I can understand. But then if we have another Fed rate cut, it's like baked in again that it'll go up another, whatever, 20,000. I'm not going to get into all the specifics. Follow Rick Jackson on Oklahoma City. He's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, producing some good dudes out there. And okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin wallets real quick. Our wallets. So, I think it will be a skill. We're in a golden age. I think a skill of the golden age of the late 2020s and 2030s is going to be, well, at least right now, how to use one of these browser wallets like Phantom or like MetaMask. All right, MetaMask, obviously, it's not as good as Phantom. MetaMask was they built it for Ethereum. Phantom they built for Solana, but Phantom you can store Solana on it. You could store Bitcoin on it. You could store Ethereum on it. I call it a smart contract wallet because you can interact with smart contracts really easily with both those. Well, easier with Solana. Easier with Phantom. So I know there's a lot of people that are just, that I'm even saying these words make you want to vomit because I'm just not saying Bitcoin, even though you can store your Bitcoin just a little, you play on the Phantom wallet, look it up, Phantom wallet, learn how to use them. It's a skill to have, or at least let your children learn how to use it. They're really cool. Phantom's a really cool wallet. It's really cool the things you can do with it. I won't get into all the specifics. You can figure it out on your own if you wish to. But no, one I will get into the specifics. It lets you log into a site like a Drip House, which is where you get these Solana NFTs for free. Now, why did I say crypto dividends in the title here? You can get. I'm not guaranteeing this or anything like that, but once the Trump administration clears up, what the status of airdrops are, and American companies are allowed to do airdrops, there are going to be all these freaking airdrops. And some of the ways, some of the companies that already exist in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, what they do is they reward people who use their sites in the past with these airdrop tokens, which all of a sudden have value to people. Now, I don't know why they all of a sudden have value to people, but the long and short of it, it's cool to learn how to use the Phantom wallet, okay? It's cool to get free NFTs at Solana NFT. They're free. They're totally free at Solana. At Drip House. You get these Solana NFTs. You can see, I've told you before, I've got a Solana address, techvault.sol. And if you, in theory, the guy who owns the site, he's a smart guy. He said that if you give to their contributors, they give you these free things over there that you can give to the people who make the that make the NFTs. If you're a giver, maybe that'll earn you theoretical airdrops in the future. He had to say, like, he couldn't even get specific, the guy, because of all this government regulation. What I'm saying to you is, if you play around on that darn site, one day you might end up with these freaking airdrops, which are crypto dividends that you could just sell and turn into Bitcoin. All right, right there. That's all. That's a simple thing. And you're learning a skill, and you're not being an ignorant fool anymore. Just says, oh, Solana sucks. This one sucks. No, you actually tried it out. Or NFTs suck. You're just being left behind. It's digital assets. It's free stuff you get over there. So it's linked to below. Whatever. I've talked about Solana before. There are cool Solana people in Salt Lake City. I've done videos on that before. Shout out to them. All right. Andreessen Horowitz, their podcast, They said it's been so obvious. They are very wealthy venture capital guys funding lots of stuff in the cryptocurrency space. They have said that the entire 4 years of the Biden administration was needlessly holding back the economy, scaring economic markets when it came to technology. And now that they're gone, everything is just breaking free and going to where it should have been. And this is true. This is true. I don't know why they were such Luddites, but it wasn't just cryptocurrency. It was so many other things. And they just, did they just hate the wealthy? So anything that has to do with finance is evil and they were just holding it back? I don't know. But these guys are based in Silicon Valley, and Ben Horowitz, whatever, he still gave money to Kamala. But I respect Mark Andreessen more so than him. But they put themselves on the line a little. They gave a lot of money to this. They helped get good people in office, and they're speaking their mind. They're speaking the truth in terms of, like, you can't hold back tech. Why do that? Why just, it's not a good thing for society as a whole. And it just embitters people. It's just, God, compete, don't complain. And they weren't letting people compete, the government, really. So everyone is hoping that the competition will just start ripping now. And it's really a golden age. And I think they even used the term, somebody used golden age. Either Saylor used it recently. No more stagnation. No, Ben Shapiro used it. He said golden age. He said golden age. Okay, so we talk about Brian Armstrong meeting with Trump. So he's meeting with the person who's about to become president. You could not. This would have been the wildest dreams of ours at the beginning of 2016. Just at the beginning of 2013, I would say that in 2013 I'd say the same thing. I was there, but when I say who was us back then, there were so few people. 2016, there was an online community that was just starting and talking about, in theory, Vinny Lingham was talking about, yes, governments will buy this as a strategic reserve one day. He was saying that in 2016. But no one was saying that, hey, that dude that owns Coinbase over there, he's going to be meeting with the president of the United States in 8 years. No, nobody was saying that. And so it's awesome. It's really awesome. And also about crypto dividends. The threat of the government saying, okay, we let you have your Bitcoin NFTs, and we let you have this, we let you have that, but it's too private now. So now you got to fork off into government approved Bitcoin because we want to know about privacy. We want to monitor it. We want to do the, whatever excuse they came. It would be a KYC Bitcoin. That threat is probably gone for 4 years now. So we're not going to get free KYC Bitcoin crypto dividend that we can just turn into the real Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor isn't going to have his testicles in a vice when he's put into a situation where, like, there'd be a lot of people, and I'm not saying he would give in, but he hasn't been opposed to regulation of Bitcoin before. And he owns so much darn Bitcoin that it could be a big thing if he said, well, I got to do what the government told me to do. And we're using this forked off version of Bitcoin that's KYC, and this is the real Bitcoin now. That would cause some problems. That threat is gone for the next 4 years. Pound that like button. So, and that's good. We don't need that crypto dividend. We don't need that crypto dividend. But I've always talked about how there was going to be a KYC Bitcoin or something. And someone else might come up with like a private one, like some of these real haters of Bitcoin, and let them do that. And let them fail and let us get it for free. And once the government does clarify, the status of airdrops, someone will do some Bitcoin forks, I hope. I think it'd be cool. Or at least do some airdrops to Bitcoin holders, not just Solana and Ethereum holders. That would be cool too. So the government, defining, or just saying airdrops are legal. That's all they have to say. Airdrops are legal. People stop doing it in the United States because and prediction markets are legal. Just say it so that the best minds can do it instead of the people who are doing it now aren't necessarily the best minds that are in charge of betting markets and all this stuff. Now, that one guy, he's American, and the government came for him already. The current government. That's a disgrace what just happened. I don't have that article now. I don't know his name. The guy behind Polymarket had his house raided or something. It was terrible. Okay, I talked about the $100,000. Oh, and here a little politics beyond Bitcoin real quick. This might have been before the election. He still might have been trying to influence people. I don't know. Bill Kristol said that Trump's cognitive decline right now is worse than Biden's at this point in 2020. Now, some people are just going to blindly believe something silly like that. Okay, but first of all, Trump doesn't have any noticeable major cognitive decline. Okay, the guy speaks for like 12 hours straight. I mean, it's insane. His schedule, he's like almost 80 or something. Now, if you compare an interview of Donald Trump in like 1982 to now, no, he's not the same Donald Trump. He's not a 40-year-old man anymore. All right, God willing, we have the medicine one day that you can talk as fast as you did when you were 40, when you're 80. Okay, but we don't right now. That's just not life. All right. But he doesn't have any noticeable like Alzheimer's or any dementia, anything horrible like that. But at this point in 2020, Joe Biden did not, during the campaign, Joe Biden did not appear in front of like any live audience beyond like 10 screen people. He could not handle a stadium. He has been unable to speak in public for at least since 2020. Unable to speak in public. And this buffoon is telling us, oh, no, Trump is just as bad as Biden was in 2020. Come on. This story is so old now. The voters have voted. I mean, there are some people that believe it, that just believe anything. But look, use your eyes. Go to reality. It's just the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, he's lost, dude. It's bad. To say Joe Biden has cognitive decline, and then to say Donald Trump has cognitive decline, you're abusing the word cognitive decline. They don't have it's not the same thing. It's not, one dude has dementia. One guy is just, he's not as fast as he was when he was 40. And that's it. Joe Biden is not the Joe Biden of 2012. Okay. It's really bad since 2012. All right, really bad. And you can watch those videos. They're very clear, very clear. And that's why the Democrats lost the election, because they tried to lie about Joe Biden. If they just would have been, Kamala needs to become president right now. There needs to be a 20th, and we're going to have an open primary. Then the best Democrat would have come out, and he might have been able to beat Trump. I have no idea. And we'd be living in a much, much worse world now, much worse. And I mean, again, Gavin Newsom could be bribed to be friends of crypto too, and maybe, but it wouldn't be the same thing. It wouldn't be the same thing that's going on. I mean, you can feel it in the business world. That's why these smart men are saying right now. Ben Shapiro, Andreessen Horowitz, Saylor talked about the red wave too. That you can just feel the change. That we are in a golden age. I think no one can remember a time when it felt like the United States was about to make so much progress. None of us, maybe like Andy Hoffman's born like in 1970. Maybe he can remember it. I don't know. But like most people, the oldest people in the crypto space were just like kids during the Reagan administration and stuff, and just could not feel like business trends. Maybe they could feel like, oh, the space shuttle is cool or something like that. But like, none of us know about the pride of the Apollo program, like in 1969, getting to the moon. None of us. Who knows about that? No one knows. I mean, Andy was born after that too. And I'm just using Andy as people ask me about Andy, so why not talk about Andy for a second? So, and yeah, I still talk to Andy. Now, he communicates with me quite often. So now. Oh, so yeah, it's a cool vibe. Like I've never experienced anything like this. Like you look at Elon Musk, and all these people are trying to say he's an oligarch and stuff, and it'd be so horrible if he's really controlling things behind the scenes. We should worry about that. He's the most successful businessman of all time in the history of the planet Earth, in the history of the universe that we know of. If he was controlling things behind the scenes, oh my God, what a dream come true. What a great thing. That he has influence is great. And it's just amazing. Like people are being, I am like, wow, we really could get to Mars. We really can do the United. It's just we really could expand lifespan. Nothing is getting in the way now. We're not going to have this thing called government getting in the way anymore for 4 years, most likely. Trump, anything's possible. There could be something horrible could happen. I don't know. All right. So, here another. Also another thing I always used to say is that there are going to be days that Bitcoin goes down by 10,000 and up by 10,000, and I've been saying that like since the 4-digit realm, maybe since the 3-digit realm, when we'd have $800 Bitcoin to go down by 100, it would be a major crash. It would go from 800 to 700. Basically on November 11th, it was probably over a 24-hour period, but whatever. It went up by $10,000 at one point. That's just amazing. I don't think it had ever gone up by 10,000. I think it had gone down by 10,000 before. So that was cool. And we all experienced it, but unfortunately, we're going to experience some bad days in the future too, where it'll go down by like 20,000 or 30,000 or something. But getting to 250,000, that would be so awesome, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be awesome? This cycle to get into the 200,000. So let's just get to the 6-digit realm first. But I'm feeling this anything is possible thing too. I'm actually saying you've never heard me say the word 200,000 before, so I'm catching the fever too. It's great. It's just great for everyone to be so positive. And you also notice that no one's right. Most people are just like, okay, it's not the end of the world. Most people just care more about their pocketbook, and they want this woke stuff gone. They don't care that Matt Gaetz is going to, all these intellectuals are like, how could he appoint Matt Gaetz as this, that, whatever, Attorney General? Oh my God. How could he appoint people that are loyal to him? I mean, look at most presidents' second terms. Did George W. Bush appoint people loyal to him in his second term? Yes. Did Barack Obama appoint people loyal to him in his second term? Yes. It's what you do. You learn from your first term and you try to make it run smoother. All right. So some people just can't take anything different than the status quo. They say they're progressives, but they want things to progress their way. All righty. So here's a Beyond Bitcoin thing for you. When I was running on Sunday, a little later than I usually do, it was when there's so many Mormon churches near me, of course. I'm in Salt Lake City. And the only time you see people is when they're coming in on Sunday or when they're leaving on Sunday. And so they're leaving. It was like 1:30 or something. It was like the stragglers were leaving. I got to tell you guys something. And I've said this before. I'm Jewish. That you all know that, all right? It's not changing, anything like that. I have no interest in these other religions. But I know some of you think Christianity is going to solve everything for you. You want to be a Christian. And I can understand in terms of the social aspect, if you meet wholesome people and just like, I don't know, a lot of people feel alone these days. And so I don't blame people for wanting to join a religion and wanting to join Christianity. It's the main religion in the United States of America. There are a lot of sects of Christianity out there. This Mormon thing, they're the most successful ones. They're the most hated ones. But they have the hottest women too. There's no doubt about it. I mean, it's unbelievable. They all stay in shape because they don't drink. All right. They don't do bad things. They're very friendly. They're smart. They appreciate people who appreciate success. And the women are hot. I mean, it was unbelievable. I'm running through these nice, wholesome outfits the women are wearing, but they're good. They're good. They were good. They were very good. Very good. I mean, and it's not even hot outside. It's cold outside, but they're good. They're good. So, and again, I know a lot of you are like, what's it called? There's that new term that Niall Ferguson and his wife, cultural Christians or whatever. Be a cultural Mormon. Just join them. Say you read their book. Maybe you'll believe in God. I don't care. But if you want friends, if you want hot women, if you want to succeed, move out to Idaho or Utah and join one of their churches and be sincere about it. Really want to be it. And you can maybe even tell them, like, I don't really believe in God, but you guys are cool. And you do that thing. Again, I would. Jewish people are not supposed to encourage other people to join Judaism because it's hard. It's not. You don't want to be Jewish. I mean, you really don't want it. It's not. It's like a pain in the tuchus for most of you secular people. You want to like fast. You want to do Yom Kippur. You want to do all these things. It's like you could still be a good person and be some other. Do whatever you're doing. Jewish people believe that. You could believe in other things. You'd be a great person and everything like that. And I believe that. So I wouldn't expect anyone to want to convert to Judaism. It is not a fun thing to do. It's not a fun process. You're questioned along the way the entire time. And it's just like you want to join a bunch of loud people that you got to do all these things, and who wants that? The Mormon people are just as successful as us. Join them. Join them. They want people. They're looking for people. They got hot women. And I'm saying this in all due respect to all the Mormon men out there. I see. I admire you. You have 8 kids with them and stuff, and that's the only woman you've ever slept with is a beautiful woman. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's a really nice thing. That's a really cool thing you got going on there. All right. So let me make. Oh, I got a cheap thing to say to you now. Something about how cheap I am, even though I'm rich. Back in my where I grew up, there's still all this old clothing basically that was mine. All right, and it's taking up space, getting in people's ways. But I'm only back in Baltimore just a few times a year, 3 times a year for a few days. And for my father's yahrzeit, for my grandmother's yahrzeit, which is also Rosh Hashanah, and for Passover. And yes, I will be back in Baltimore December 11th for my dad's yahrzeit, of course. My dad, and again, his secular yahrzeit for any of you that care, and I don't really care. My dad died tomorrow in 2018. It was tomorrow. It was November the 20th. But it doesn't affect me at all because I only care about the Hebrew date, which shifts every single year. So that's going to be December the 13th this year. So that's why I'm going to be back December the 11th in Baltimore. But long story short, there's all this old clothing there. And but here I saw there's this hipster store, Iconoclad in Salt Lake City, that takes old clothing and then sell. I'm sure they got something like that in Baltimore, but this thing's all computerized and stuff. So you go to hipster Iconoclad, you bring in these old clothes of yours. They say what they want, and then they're like, we can give the rest away to charity. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, do that. So I tested it out with them. They only wanted 4 of the things I had. They gave the rest away to charity. Okay, cool, whatever. They list it. I can check it online if it sells. One thing that was my father's, it was a sweater of my father's that was from 1979. It was a brown sweater. And I actually wore it a few times at a much later date. It looked all right. But it's dated looking now, I think, unless you're a hipster. So that thing from 1979, I only can imagine how much he paid for it back in 1970. How much was clothing? Clothing is cheaper now. It is because we had much more. So, but because of inflation, all right, I'm not going to get into it. But they sold it, and I get half. You get half of what they sell. And they sold the darn thing for what was it? How much did I get? They're going to PayPal me. This is better than a super chat. Okay, they sold it for $21.50. I'm getting $10.75. So my father could not have paid more than back then. $20 was a lot of money in 1979. So, and clothing wasn't as cheap. So he probably did pay maybe he paid $20 for that shirt. Maybe it's probably $15 or whatever. And they just sold it for $21.50. And now I'm getting $10.75 from that. So that's awesome. And my dad has more shirts like that. They're more. So I'm bringing them back. I know where they are. Go to my parents' closet. My dad's stuff is still hanging there. In fact, a lot of it. So I have to go through it. That's not exactly the stuff they want. But I have old clothing too. That can go too. Well, again, that was the other things I got rid of were mine. But that was mine too. So that's cool. So I was really happy to make $10.75. I mean, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, it was such a surprise. I'm like, I got the hang of this now. I know how to do this now. I can bring. So there's just so many opportunities out there. I have said we are at no one in the United States should be without clothing. we are at abundance level of clothing. There's this, you could get for free. Anyone can get clothing for free, good clothing for free. That is the level. This could not be said, 50 years ago or whatever. We are living in a country where you can get all your clothing for free and it'll be fine. You don't have to spend any money on clothing if you do not want to. And it's all right. It's fine clothing. Okay. It's fine. And then we have hipsters that are willing to pay $21 for stuff that should just be given away. No offense, Iconoclad. You're doing your thing or whatever. All right. So I talked about dad shirt. What else did I want? Smart contracts I talked about. Oh, wow. I talked about everything on the sheet of paper too, without just off the top of my head. Drip. That's it. Awesome. All right. Let me see if you have any questions here. Isabella is still on. Everyone's there. Oh, Kiwi Bloke said, "Good day from Auckland." It's always a beautiful day in Auckland. I will tell you that, man. It's a beautiful city. And I say it every time. You should be so happy that woman prime minister is gone now. She was a disgrace upon your country. And yeah. All right. We don't have to get into what she did during the virus. Oh, yeah. Okay. And the great Benjamin J. Dichter is in the house. He will have to appear on the show soon, obviously. We will be talking. When he comes on the show, we're going to talk about Israel and stuff, too. It's going to be freaking awesome, man. Going to be freaking awesome. Hey, I didn't have anything to say about Israel today. That's pretty interesting. Next show. Pound that like button, everybody. I'm Adam Meister, Bitcoin Meister. Subscribe to the channel and let us, maybe you're watching. Again, if you're not on follow me on Twitter, TECHBALT, because you might not even be watching this on my channel right now if everything goes well with CoinBeast. And yeah, some Canadians behind CoinBeast too, BJ, as you very well know. All right, pound that like button. See you guys later. Bye-bye.